Shazam versus Kratos, the champion of the gods, empowered with the might and force of 6 different gods, going up against the ultimate god killer. Yeah, this is a fight to see, but who's ultimately going to be coming out on top here? Who would win? Well, let's break it down. Born in Sparta, Kratos is a demigod son of Zeus and was once a soldier and Spartan general. He worked under Ares' command, serving the god of war, until he accidentally killed his wife and daughter under Ares' order. The ghost of Sparta renounced his service to the god of war, eventually killing him and ascending to true godhood himself, becoming the new god of war. And from there, Kratos continued on his deicide, claiming revenge against his father Zeus and all the Olympian gods who had betrayed him. After following through on his vengeance, Kratos left to Norway and the world of the Norse gods. And of course, war and fighting followed him there too. Now, Kratos isn't just a great character, he's also just an absolute beast. He is so freaking powerful. And there is a difference between gameplay Kratos and lore Kratos. Like in the gameplay, we've seen Kratos struggle to lift some rocks. He gets hurt by swords or arrows or random skeleton warriors. Sometimes he can't even open certain chests. Even when he's literally killing gods, it doesn't necessarily feel that earth-shattering, especially when you compare it to some of the stuff going on in the Marvel universe. But that's why you have to understand the lore of Kratos in the God of War universe, because that's how you'll see just what a beast Kratos truly is. Let me explain the God of War cosmology here for a second, as there are basically 3 different power groups you need to know about: primordials, titans, and gods. In the beginning, before anything was, there were the primordials. These beings waged war on each other before the very concept of time existed. And out of this war came the Earth. And not just the Earth, but the whole universe itself. I mean, they were throwing punches around and literally creating the Big Bang. That's insane. And what's even crazier? Kratos killed some of them. Like Gaia, Mother Earth, the first being to ever exist. Kratos killed her. Thanatos, the primordial personification of death, and responsible for helping to create the universe. Kratos killed him. The very concept of death. And Kratos killed him. Then there are the Titans, the spawns of the primordials, like Kronos, king of the Titans, 16,000 feet tall, 7 million tons. And when this Titan tried to crush Kratos with his fingers, Kratos was able to hold him off and push him back. That's like holding back millions of tons, billions of tons of force. It's an absolutely insane showing. Kronos has had the same universe-shaking fights against primordials, but he wasn't able to fight and kill Kratos. And Kratos did it again. This time he was fighting against Atlas, a titan who's roughly just as strong as Kronos, and is tasked with holding the sky on his shoulders. Atlas tried to squish Kratos just like Kronos did, but Kratos was able to hold it off and push him back, just like he did with Kronos. Wait. Hold on, let me make sure you get that. Atlas is the strongest titan in God of War. It required the might of both Hades and Poseidon to stop him. He could hold the entire cosmos on his shoulders and prevent it from falling and collapsing. And in God of War, the sky and the entire cosmos has been confirmed a few times to be literally infinite and limitless. Atlas is performing the same feat as when Superman held up a book of infinite pages. or when Hercules held the literal sky, simply holding up infinity. Yet he still failed to crush Kratos. And Kratos is also just a fraction of his size too. Then there are the times where Kratos fought against gods, and specifically some pretty powerful Norse gods, like Thor. Thor is so strong and so powerful that his battle with Jormungandr splintered the tree Yggdrasil, and this is what it looks like when a tree is splintered. But Yggdrasil is so much more than just a tree. It's a construct that transcends space and time and supports all of creation with its existence, holding the infinite universes that are housed within Norse mythos. Thor splintered that tree with his fight with Jormungandr, and sent Jormungandr backwards through time with a punch, back before even his own birth. This is the guy that Kratos fought against, and it's the guy that Kratos was able to beat and overpower by the end of the game. And not just that, but defeating gods like Hades, and ripping out Hades' soul, defeating Baldur, a guy who can knock out the world serpent with just 3 punches, and defeat even Zeus and Odin themselves, beating literal universal and Skyfather level beings by himself. He truly is the ultimate god killer. Billy Batson was just a troubled foster kid with no one to call family, until he was finally adopted by the Vasquez family and found a home. But as if his life wasn't already changed enough, he was summoned before the wizard to see whether or not he was worthy of incredible power. At first, the wizard deemed him unworthy, but after hearing how Billy did try to be a good and honorable person, the wizard decided that he had potential. He then gave Billy his power, granting him the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, the stamina of Atlas, the power of Zeus, the courage of Achilles, and the speed of Mercury. Whenever he says the magical word, he's transformed into the superhero Shazam. Being given the strength of Hercules, Shazam is obviously incredibly, superhumanly powerful. He's literally one of the strongest heroes in all of DC. There have been plenty of times where Shazam's had his strength directly equated to Superman himself. The two have regularly been able to match each other in strength, and neither one has really gotten the better of the other. Like, they've had arm wrestling matches that have gone on for multiple hours. I would say that's pretty close to dang equal in strength. And that's not the only thing that Shazam has done. He's used his strength to create a black hole with a punch. He's stopped the moon from spiraling out of control, overpowered its orbit. He's been able to overpower Wonder Woman, and him and Superman teamed up to lift a book filled with infinite pages and infinite memories. So basically, teaming up to lift infinity. Yeah, Shazam is ridiculously strong. He's also got the stamina of Atlas, meaning he's very, very tough. Actually, dang near indestructible. He's regularly taken punches and attacks from the likes of Black Adam, or even Superman and Wonder Woman. Shazam is basically completely unfazed by all of it. It is not able to even scratch him, much less put him down. Shazam's taken attacks from the Egyptian god Set, or the Spectre, the Wrath of God. Been okay. He's taken attacks from the whole Justice League before, and because Shazam's durability is magically based, he's actually able to survive some attacks that just normal tough guys might not be able to. Like, Shazam withstood an attack that momentarily took all of his insides and put them on the outside. He was just fine afterwards, but seemed pretty convinced that no other member of the Justice League could take that same attack and remain standing. And with the speed of Mercury, well, obviously Shazam has super speed too. He's faster than fast, he's quicker than quick. He's able to beat Wonder Woman in a race, he's able to keep up with Superman, he's even been able to keep pace with the Flash before, to the point where he's dodged attacks from the Flash, and he's got the Flash thinking that they shared the same powers, and that Shazam was tapping into the Speed Force as well. Then last but not least, well, Shazam is tapping into the power of Zeus. It's not just what transforms Billy into Shazam, but he's also able to say the word and unleash devastating lightning blast raining down from the skies. They're so powerful, they've been able to not just injure Superman, but also injure Wonder Woman and Black Adam too. So two very powerful magical beings as well. Okay, so those are the two fighters, Shazam and Kratos. Who's coming out on top here? Let's get in there and break this down a little bit. And you might be saying, what are you even talking about here? Kratos has nothing on Shazam. Shazam is straight up Superman's equal. He's way stronger, way tougher, way faster. There's absolutely no fight to even be had here. What's going on? Well, to you, I would say, you don't know Kratos real well, do you? Because I mean, yes, sometimes he'll struggle with giants or get mauled by wolves or whatever. But this guy is a god killer. And I think the best way to really get a true gauge on his powers is to take a look at all the many gods that Kratos has killed. So in God of War, there are basically 3 different power levels or power groupings: Primordials, Titans, and the gods of Olympus. In the beginning, before anything was, there were the Primordials. These beings waged war on each other before the very concept of time existed. And out of this war came the Earth. And not just the Earth, but the whole universe itself. I mean, they were throwing punches around and literally creating the Big Bang. That's insane. What's even crazier, Kratos killed some of these guys. Like he killed Gaia, Mother Earth herself. She's the first being to ever exist in the God of War story. Preceded all the Primordials, and they already all preceded the universe itself. Gaia is an omnipresent being, able to exist everywhere all at the same time, exist in every time, even see the future. And Kratos killed her and Zeus at the same time. And that's not the only primordial that he killed. He also fought against and killed Thanatos, the primordial personification of death. This guy existed before the universe too, fought in the primordial war, even created his own dimension. Here Kratos is, killing him. Granted, like it was a hard fight, it wasn't easy for Kratos to do this, but this guy is one of the most powerful primordials ever, was the literal embodiment of the very concept of death. It was never going to be an easy fight. It was one of the fights where everyone began to take Kratos seriously. This is when Zeus began to actually be afraid of Kratos, calling him the destroyer of worlds. You want to know something else crazy? The Titans and the gods are on the same level as the Primordials. They actually were the ones who replaced the Primordials. The Titans are the spawn of the Primordials and ruled creation during a golden age of peace and prosperity, where the Titans were the end-all, be-all. That is, until Kronos' son rose up to overthrow them and establish Mount Olympus. And there are a few Titans that Kratos fought against and beat too, even killed a few of them, like Atlas. We talked about this guy earlier, but he is the strongest Titan in God of War, could hold up the earth with just one hand, was the one tasked with carrying the weight of the entire cosmos on his back. And just so we're clear, in God of War, the universe, the cosmos, they're literally infinite. Not infinitely expanding like our universe, but just infinite. And yet Kratos held him back. He couldn't overpower Kratos. And then there's Kronos, the king of the Titans, the very embodiment of time, the ruler of the universe during this golden age, and he claimed that throne by defeating the embodiment of the universe itself, Uranus. And he did it in an epic, potentially universe-shattering fight that was similar to the fight between the primordials that created the universe in the first place. And you know what? While Kratos killed his father Uranus, a dude who has powers way beyond the universe, well, Kratos was able to kill him. He died by Kratos' hands. Then last but not least, well, there are the gods, the children of the Titans. The gods were destined to rule the universe and crush all opposition under their feet. The king of the gods, Zeus, fought for vengeance and freedom from his parents that would eventually end the time of the Titans and bring about the reign of Mount Olympus. For a millennia, the gods ruled creation, governing the fundamental forces of nature and order until Kratos showed up. Kratos managed to kill plenty of gods, but it was really impressive he was able to take down the big three: Hades, Poseidon, and Zeus. Hades is the third most powerful god in God of War. He was even able to gobble up Atlas's soul and gain all of his power. So the way that Hades works is that his power increases with the more souls that he devours, and Kratos fought Hades centuries after the Great War. So that means that the version of Hades that Kratos was fighting was even more powerful than when Hades fought Atlas. And yet, Hades still couldn't end up devouring Kratos' soul. Instead, it ended up being the other way around. And along with it, well, Kratos gained all the other souls that Hades had eaten. Poseidon is the second most powerful god. While we don't really know a ton about him, we do know that he can kill a Titan with just one punch. He would have even killed Gaia herself if it wasn't for Kratos, if he hadn't gotten to Poseidon first. Then last but not least, Zeus, the most powerful being in God of War. He almost killed Gaia with just one lightning bolt. His mere anger can shake the entire universe. He created the Blade of Olympus, the most powerful weapon in the universe, and used it to absolutely obliterate the Titans. It's basically like the Infinity Gauntlet. You just gotta swing it around, you just gotta use it, and every being ceases to exist against it. It's pretty freaking crazy. But then Zeus was stabbed twice with the blades and didn't die. That's how powerful Zeus is. You know what? Kratos killed him. Kratos beat him. Kratos is out there just consistently beating universal level beings, even beings beyond the universe, beating the very gods and beings that were responsible for creating the universe in the first place. And Kratos is beating all of them. He's basically their reckoning. And that's not even talking about when Kratos made his way over to the Norse realms too, because it's the same thing over there. The Norse gods are universal at the very least. Thor is shattering infinite and limitless realms by splintering Yggdrasil in his fights. Odin was the one who created all the realms and universes in the first place, and Kratos is easily plowing through them and killing them. So yeah, Shazam is going up against a guy with an impressive track record here. Kratos is a bit of a beast, especially when you're factoring in the lore around the character and the universe. God of War kinda goes hard. Kratos is just out there consistently beating universal level beings, even beings beyond the universe. And in order to say you can beat this guy, kinda have to see you taking down Skyfather beings, or at the very least, holding your own against them. And while I believe Shazam is incredibly powerful, he's got the power of 6 literal gods all in one, I don't think he can actually hold his own against Skyfather beings. Like, he can't beat Zeus. Don't even think he can beat Darkseid, or probably even Doomsday by himself. He has been said to be on par with Superman, but when push comes to shove, still think Shazam is in a tier below Clark. Now, all of this isn't to say that Shazam can't beat Kratos. I mean, Kratos has straight up been killed quite a few times as he's been fighting against all these gods. Like, look at Thor. Sure, Kratos was holding back in that fight and wasn't going all out, but Thor was still able to kill Kratos with a swing from Mjolnir, then just decided to bring him right back. And if Thor can do this, well then I'm betting Shazam can too. I mean, one of Thor's greatest feats is fighting against Jormungandr and sending the big snake straight back in time with a punch. Now, I have no idea how this is possible. It seems to go against everything I know about time and punches, but one thing I do know is that Shazam has thrown a punch so hard that he created a black hole, which I would say is basically the same thing. So if it takes that kind of strength to kill Kratos, well, Shazam is that strong. But of course, it's not that simple. Kratos was holding back in that fight, and when he wasn't holding back as much, he beat Thor all up and down. And then of course, Kratos is the one who killed Zeus, and Zeus in God of War is really surprisingly powerful, easily a Sky Father level being. He can beat universal beings, he can shake infinite realms of his rage and anger, he can create infinite universes himself with his own innate power, and Kratos killed him. If we're factoring all this in, well then I think Kratos has what it takes to take Shazam down. It'll be a great fight, but Kratos is coming out on top in the end. Kratos wins. But what do y'all think? Sound off in the comments down below. I know you're gonna have thoughts and feelings on this one for sure. If you stuck around this long and made it to the end of the video, that's amazing. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting us. And if you want to go subscribe, well, go subscribe. You're going to see more videos like this one every single week. I'll see y'all then. I'll see y'all next time.